friend of mine actually committed suicide last week. Yeah, went upstairs, swallowed everything in the bathroom cabinet. Yeah, choked on a tampon.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Entertainment Lab. And in this video, we bring you Season 1 recap of Afterlife. So sit tight for the next few minutes as I will let you through the story. And before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. After this point, there are some huge spoilers ahead. The show opens with Tony watching a recorded message left behind by his wife, who is kind of useless as described by his wife. He works at a free local newspaper firm called the Tambury Gazette. A new starter called Sandy joins the Gazette when her boss, also the brother-in-law of Tony, explains the situation of Tony's dead wife. Tony confesses to him that there is no advantage of being kind and caring. Tony's dad, who is in a care home and has a condition which led him to believe that Lisa is still alive. Soon, some muggers run into him. He decides to take his chance, busting one of the teenagers' nose to stop them from stealing his money. Tony again makes a suicide attempt, but he stops as his dogs walk in. On the way to his wife's grave, he converses with Julian, who is a drug addict, and pays him to come to his house later so he can smoke heroin. At Lisa's grave, he sees another woman talking to a gravestone, and despite his beliefs, he goes along with it. At work, he has a genuine conversation with Sandy. Soon in his home, he smokes some heroin given to him by the paper boy, dreaming of his wife while Julian stole money from his wallet. Next day, Tony confronts the drug addict who stole money from him while high, who lives in a rundown garage, and his partner also died, which is why he went down in drug lane. We learned this story from the sex worker nearby who is paid by Tony to do some house chores for 50 euros. Matt decides to pay for everyone to go to a comedy club night to grow morale in the team. At the club, a comedian makes a suicidal joke and then asks Tony what his story is. Tony explains the situation. The scene was tragic, awkward and funny at the same time.
Yeah, umbrellas are weird, aren't they? If they've had umbrellas.
Tony gets his half of the drugs from the addict who stole his money. While he smokes again, he realizes that they are being very similar. That is, they both numbing emotional pain. Matt sets a date for Tony, but he doesn't want it.
I've told her all about you.
Yeah?
And
You told her that I'm still married?
well, no, I mean
To your sister?
No.
Or have you forgotten that? Because I haven't.
But after a session with his therapist and speaking with a woman at cemetery, he considered it. For this, he goes shopping with Sandy. The date was like female version of Tony. She mocks him by saying that she does not believe he desperately wants to commit suicide.
This is good shtick, dark and down. But you're obviously not really suicidal, it's just bullshit.
It ends in a disaster. Tony once again hangs out with his drug addict, where he claims if he had enough money, he would consume as many as drugs possible. Tony gives him cash, ensuring that drug addict goes through with it. Tony, on the way to meet his father, he threatens a kid with a hammer because they were bullying George, his godson and Matt's son. At the hospital, he flirts with the nurse who takes care of his father and started developing feeling for her. At Gazette, Tony tells everyone about his date and how he acquired the hammer. Matt tells Tony about the OD paperboy, to which Tony acts unsurprised and tells Matt that he gave him the money and knew it was a possibility. Matt gets angry and tells Tony to stop joking around. At last, Tony says he didn't know. Later that day, Matt finds out that Tony threatened a kid with a hammer at George's school. Matt was really angry, to which he said that if Tony continues his type of attitude, he might not let George see him. Now Tony is no longer miserable but philosophical about life. He makes an effort with his father in an elderly home. While firing his therapist, the letter reveals that Matt's marriage life is not okay. So Tony confronts Matt about it, but also confirms that he isn't going to kill himself and apologizes for being a pain. He thanks all his colleagues but gives a most sincere thank you to Matt for not giving up on him. He also makes the sex worker feel better about herself and secures a date with the father's nurse, which makes him well up when she accepts. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please hit the like button, and for more such content like this, subscribe to our channel.